This is a tutorial on finalizing your winners to advance to the next higher fair. First, we want to go to signtier.com and log in. We want to log in as our fair administrator username and password. As usual, we want to go to our role chooser, to fair administrator, and then we want to select the fair that we wish to manage. In this case, it's going to be a school. I'm going to advance projects from one of my schools, one of my test schools. We have a step 6 that says finalize winners. Once we have selected our winners and we've made sure that we've got who we want, and we've double checked that list, then we'll be ready to finalize. And when the fair administrator finalizes the school or fair winner selection, the action is permanent. You can't edit your winners after you've finalized. Once we finalize, this will send the selected projects that we selected in our winners to the next higher fair for processing and for SRC review. Teachers and fair directors will be able to monitor the students' progress, and they'll be able to monitor their status throughout the chain of fairs. But once we do that, it's important to know we'll get a warning that this action is pretty much permanent. When I click winner finalization, it will ask me to select the division. If we are a school fair, we will only have one division. It'll either be middle school or high school, whichever division that school happens to be. If we are a district or regional fair, we will have a middle school and high school division, which we will finalize separately. So that means you will be able to finalize a middle school division at a separate time than a high school division, if that's the way your fair works. I'm in a high school, so I only have high school division. I'm going to click that. And here I have a list of my projects, which I have selected in the other step. I want to double check these and make sure that these are the right projects. And I will check this box here. It says I understand it by clicking Finalize Winners button that I will no longer be able to change any of the placements or advancements. You are submitting your projects to the higher fair. So this is a permanent action. I'm going to then click Finalize My Winners. I will get a confirmation. The projects have been successfully confirmed and students will be notified. The students must click the Confirm button that appears on their timeline, or it will appear in their pop-up menu. You'll be able to revisit this page anytime in the future. You won't be able to change your advancements or your winner selection, but what you will be able to do is monitor the project's progress. So we can see here I have two projects that I sent on to the district fair. They're both advancing to the next fair, and these are the places I gave them at my fair. The student has not logged in to confirm yet, which is very important. This is the SRC status of the student's project. It says they're at the district/county fair and they have not been reviewed yet. So we can monitor these pretty much in real time. As soon as that project's reviewed, we will see it appear here. If it's been approved or if it's been sent back for revision, we'll be able to see that as well. Also here, we are able to view the project if we need to do something for the student. We can click here on View Project. Now it's very important that students log in immediately after you finalize your fair. The students will not receive an email. Email does not get through to most students. Students are expected to log in to their accounts and monitor them daily, as well as teachers and fair directors. At this point in time, people need to be monitoring their accounts. As soon as we have finalized, the next time the student logs in, the student is going to get a pop-up menu. In that pop-up menu, they're going to have to select their new category, which matches the fair that they're entering, and they will have to follow a set of instructions that the fair has given, or possibly click a button to be navigated to finish their registration. So it's very important that we let the students, our winner students, know that they need to log in as soon as possible and select their new categories. We can monitor and see which of our students have not confirmed, and if we need to, as fair directors or as teachers, we can click View Project. We can see the two students here, and we can log in as those students. Now each student will need to log in and confirm independently. If one student on a team logs in first and selects the category, the second student won't be prompted to reselect the category, but the second student will be prompted with a message and possibly a confirmation button. So each student needs to log into their account separately after finalization. I'm going to log in as a student so that we can quickly see that screen that the students see. And as I log in, the first thing that pops up here is the category selection. I will need to select a category that matches the fair that I'm entering, and I will click submit. Then I have a set of instructions here, a little message, and in this case it says click here to complete your registration. So I would need to click here to complete the registration. Now this is on the test account. When I do that, it's not going to take me anywhere, but in the live account, this button may be programmed to take the student to a regional fair or district fair web page or a state fair web page to finish their registration. So it's very important that they go through those motions. Once they're done with that, the next time they log in, or if they go down here and click home, they will be back at the regular project screen. Now notice the project completion has gone from 100% to 95%. That's because it's pending the SRC status, the review status at the next fair. If a student forgot to click the button, or for some reason thinks they didn't click the button that they were presented with when they logged in, it will be posted along with that message in their timeline, so they can scroll down and re-click that if they need to. If the regional fair said we didn't get your registration or some other issue, but that message will be posted here as well, so you'll be able to, the student will have access to that. On the left hand side, the student still has their project steps. Now once we've submitted the project to the fair for review, you don't really want the student playing around with the project. If they mess it up during review or before it gets reviewed, it could cause issues. But they do have access to their forms over here on the left hand menu. So we can view the abstract, and we can view the checklist of the adult sponsor, printing any of those out if we need to. Those are listed under forms. We can also, the student can also see their form review history or any attachments that they may have uploaded with their project. So the students have access to all of this over here on the left hand menu. And like everyone else, we also have access to the YouTube tutorials. If you haven't been there, you need to go, maybe even subscribe to the channel. We have step-by-step tutorials posted there on a fairly regular basis. I'm going to check on my SRC status as the student by clicking this button, and it simply says the project's under review, and keep checking back. So the student needs to do that daily, maybe a couple of times a day while this process is going on. As soon as something comes in, maybe the student needs revision, it will be posted to the timeline here, but it also the student will be expected to click here to check their status. When they click this, it will tell them what they need to fix, similar to the SRC messages that they received from the school fair. I'm going to log back out as a student now. I'm going to log back in as my fair director. Go back to my high school, which I just finalized. Again, even after I've clicked step 6 and I've finalized, if I go back there now, I can use that to track my students. Also, I can export this data. I can dump all of the data from my winning students here in CSV format with all of the columns and all of the project information. There's another place I can do that as well if I want the information for all of the students who attended my fair or my school. I have access to that data as well. I go back to the current dashboard and I'll simply go to students. Even though it shows I have 0 students now, that's because I moved them on to the other fair. That only shows 0 because I selected all my students as winners. So it doesn't count your winners anymore as being your students, although they actually are. So even though I don't see any here, I can actually, where it says export all students, this is where I would get the list for all the students who participated in my school or in my fair. This is the list that we would use. So these are all actually my students here. But since I advanced all of those students, the place that I will be monitoring those students is actually here on step 6, winner status. This is where we want to monitor our winners. And that concludes the tutorial on how a school or a fair will submit their winners and finalize the registrations to the next higher fair.